Welcome to the MYS Virtual Hangout. Here's your host, MYS Music Director, Raul Gomez.
Good afternoon and welcome to the MYS Virtual Hangout number 59. Today we have not one but two incredible guests. Dirk Mommertz and Erika Geldsetzer from the Faure Piano Quartet are joining us for this hangout. The Faure Quartet is about to have a virtual concert this coming Sunday, November 15 at 3 p.m. thanks to our friends over at Friends of Chamber Music. So go to their website, that's focm.org, to learn more about this concert. But if I were you, I would go ahead and put this on your calendar right away. November 15, this Sunday at 3 p.m. The concert will be available for 48 hours to stream after the live premiere, but I hope that you will join me in watching the event as it unfolds. Dirk and Erika join me all the way from Germany. Dirk, Erika, welcome to MYS Virtual Hangout number 59.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to be with us. We are very excited about your upcoming virtual concert that Friends of Chamber Music is going to be presenting very soon, November 15 at 3 p.m. Pacific. We're all going to be watching. And the first thing I wanted to ask you is about, well, the beginnings of the Faure Quartet. When did it start? How did it start?
And it's funny because when we, it's something very closely related to MYS actually, because we have county youth orchestras in Germany, all over, from every county. And I met Sascha, the viola player, there when we were 14 and 15.
Wow.
So, known him for a long, long time. And then as he's a year older, he started studying 1 year before me, and he met the other two boys. And then he knew that I was coming to Karlsruhe also for studying. And even before my first rehearsal, he asked me, hey, do you want to play some chamber music and have some fun? And I said, well, yes, great, because I've always loved it. I've always loved chamber music, and it's a great way to meet people. So I went to the first rehearsal. I was quite scared, new, but we had really a good time, and we realized right from the get-go, wow, this is something worth doing, actually.
Yeah.
And that was 25 years ago.
1995. And so when people think of chamber music, the first thing they think of is a string quartet, right? Two violins, one viola, one cello, or perhaps a piano trio, piano, violin, and cello, maybe a woodwind quintet. So tell me how you guys arrived at this specific instrumentation, this formation, this piano quartet.
It's interesting that you mentioned actually the core of our group, because the reason why we became a piano quartet actually was when Sascha and I met in school. My dream always was to play piano trio, and his dream was to play string quartet. And since I'm a pianist and he's a viola player, so we had to find a way to play together, because that's all what we want, also what we wanted. So actually, this is a very easy reason why we became a piano quartet. And then, of course, to plan for a future of 25 years, it was not the case. So we just started rehearsing. Then we found out that the repertoire is amazing, like all the string quartet repertoire also on the piano trio. So from today, I can say I don't miss playing piano trio when I have such a beautiful group. And it's nice, after 25 years, Erika still calls us boys.
Yeah. I think that's so wonderful. I mean, people talk about chemistry when it comes to chamber music, and it's like a family. And well, after 25 years, just the fact that you're still together says a lot about how you work together.
That's right. Yes.
We still enjoy it very much, although of course at the moment, as everybody else, we are having a little break. So Dirk is in Munich and I'm in Berlin right now, but yeah, it still works. And you're certainly right, because the chemistry has to be right. I think otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Also for everything, for the music, for the working together, for the intensity this all requires. And I'm sure Dirk would like to add something.
No, it's really, I feel very lucky and happy that we managed to stay together with the same guys, the same boys and girls, because that's quite unusual for a chamber group. I think there are hardly any groups in the world who can stay for this long time with the same people from the very beginning. And I think we cannot appreciate it enough. And we are still trying to grow, trying to develop ourselves. And we, even though you know so much about your colleagues, you still learn a lot every day when you play together, like it is in music, of course. So it's a combination between sharing big art and sharing playing together. This is it's one of the nicest jobs you can have, actually.
And when you started in 1995, what did you guys think was going to be the I don't know, the lifespan of the quartet? Did you think we're going to play together for a few years and see what happens, or did you know right away we're doing this for the rest of our careers? And if I may add, when was like the quartet's first big break?
So if the thing is that when you started to found a group after you studied, so you have your diplomas, you have a perspective, you know what you want and what you don't want, and then you decide, for example, between going to the orchestra or teaching or founding a chamber group, which many people do. And in the old generation, like our teachers, they did it like that. They came from orchestras where they already earned money. They quit the orchestras or they quit their teaching jobs, and they took the risk. When we started, there was nothing we could give up. It was at the same time where our whole development started. So we had no idea if there will be any career for each of us or for any of us. So we had no idea what it means to stay together in a group. So everything was quite uncertain. But on the other hand, everything was free and everything was totally open. And when we started working, we didn't have any targets or ideas what it will bring to us, but we worked a lot. I have to say, we worked for hours just out of enthusiasm. And then we prepared one competition, and that went very well, surprisingly for us. And so that was a kind of sign that it's not so wrong what we do. So next competition came, and also a good sign. And then the steps who came together were quite good, quite nice for us. And then, of course, then the decisions, what will be our job, that came maybe after 5-6 years when you finish your studying, and then you have really to know what you want and where it's going to. And if we wouldn't have invested so much during our school times, our conservatory times, it would be much more difficult probably to decide to go to take this risk.
Yeah. And was it 2006 that Deutsche Grammophon signed you guys to record?
Is it 5?
2005. Yeah.
5 years, yes. I think the first release, as far as I remember, was 2006 in the Mozart anniversary. And of course, that was a huge step for any musician. I mean, if they knock at your door and say, let's record, and this relationship lasted at least even 10 years, which is also remarkable. So we did a lot of things we really liked. And of course, a record company like Deutsche Grammophon, that was a huge support also for the career.
Yeah, how wonderful. I'd like to talk about repertoire a little bit. And before we go into that, though, I want to share with our viewers about 1 minute of a video of the quartet playing something by Mussorgsky. So would you mind introducing that video, please?
Okay, that will be from Mussorgsky's Pictures of an Exhibition, The Hut of the Baba Yaga.
Yes. So let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Welcome back.
Well, thank you. So tell me about your repertoire selection over time. And I'm interested also in how that has changed from the early years of the quartet to now. So you have things like Mussorgsky that, this is an adaptation for the instrumentation. I'm sure you have a combination of music that was originally written for piano quartet and then commissions and all of that.
Well, we started, I think, of course, with the name Fauré. We started with quite the standard repertoire for piano quartet, also because, as Dirk already said, it's lovely to discover them and explore them and see what's in it. And we are still discovering new things, even after 25 years with the Fauré, which we just recorded again because we realized that it had changed so much over the years. And it grew, at least I hope so, with us. And so, yeah, that's kind of in its own very satisfying. But then, of course, with a group like a piano quartet, you said it's not so usual as a string quartet or a piano trio, but we have an enormous range of possibilities for experiments, actually. Because we have the piano and we have the three strings, so we can make an enormous orchestral sound, but we can have the same intimate sound as a sonata, for example, or a piano trio or a string trio. There are lovely passages in the middle where the piano has a break, not in the Baba Yaga, but in other pieces. So the possibilities are endless. And so we did start experimenting with it. And the whole pictures of an exhibition, they were such a joy to explore, because for me also the piano version is as good as it is. I've heard it more, let's say, boring than otherwise, because to find the real characters of each piece, for just doing it with only one instrument, you have to have real personality to bring that up. And of course some of them do. But then you have the orchestra version, which everybody knows, and which might, because it was from Ravel, turn down the Russian heart of it.
Sure.
So we thought, okay, we are right in the middle of it, and let's try and find the character, do the intimacy of a piano, but have the big sound of an orchestra. So I think that's the best version ever.
Yeah. And you do have a new album, and there's another video that I wanted to share a little bit of that. Dirk, will you introduce this one, please?
Yes. What you see on the video actually is not us playing. It's a kind of commercial ad for the release. And as I'm prepared, of course, we're talking about this release.
There it is.
It just came out here. It's our anniversary CD. And what you see, it's a kind of making of the photo shooting for the album cover. So it was a very funny day, actually, when we met a very great photographer and tried some things out. And what you listen to it is also an arrangement, because the CD has both Fauré piano quartets on it and also 5 arrangement of songs of Gabriel Fauré, which are so beautiful. And we did a lot about arrangement, as you see in the Mussorgsky, when we did it ourselves, but this time we gave it to someone else, one of our favorite, maybe our favorite arranger actually, whose name is Dietrich Zöllner from Dresden, and he arranged these pieces for piano quartet. And if you ask me, and if you listen to the rest of the songs, probably on YouTube soon, and if you buy it on iTunes, I think you might not recognize it's an arrangement if you compare to the original songs. So if I would not know the original composition, I would totally accept that it's written for piano quartet by Fauré. So yes. I think it's amazing what this guy did with these arrangements.
Very cool. So let's check out this video and then we'll chat a little bit more. So it looks like you guys have fun. You have fun together. That's probably why you keep doing this. Let's talk about this upcoming virtual performance that you guys are doing with Friends of Chamber Music for our Portland audiences here. What can we expect for this concert?
So last time when we came to Portland, and I remember that we played one piece of the Mussorgsky arrangement as an encore. And so, as we are so incredibly sad that this year it doesn't work out to come, they asked us to why not sending to them the whole Mussorgsky, because anyway we plan to play it there, and it's a big pity that it won't take place. So we send a live recording from Mussorgsky, Pictures of Ambition, from the whole piece.
Do you each have a favorite movement?
I'm sure we have actually, but I don't know Dirk's. But I think I have to say mine is the Old Castle, because it's so dark, it's so evocative, and somewhat fairy tale, deep Russian forest with snow and mist and everything, and that's and also I could experiment with a color on the violin, which is not usually used, which sounds like a pan, like the flute of the pan. I don't know, is that the same?
Yes.
And yeah, I just love that one.
Yeah.
What about you?
I have to admit that I started to fall in love with the whole piece only when I started the arrangement. I mean, everyone knows how genius the whole piece is, and as a pianist, of course, it's an iconic piece, but quite uncomfortable to play, I have to say, pianistically, because it's not written for, actually, it should not be written for a pianist. That's one of the reason why we did this arrangement.
Yeah.
And then I think I like very much the Marketplace of Limoges, because in the version for piano quartet you can show a totally different side of this piece for technical reasons, actually, because you can have a different tempo and you can have a different drive and a different busyness of the marketplace. And the Gnomos is quite dark. I like it, and and I like the whole mixture from the colors of the string instrument and the piano. And one advantage of this project was, of course, that we were totally free to make experiments, which you could never do in Mozart or Brahms.
Right.
So as Erika mentioned, the flute in the old castle, which is a beautiful color, of course, and there was no one we had to ask if we are allowed to do this.
Right. Very nice. Well, we're looking forward to that. And again, for our viewers, that's on November 15 at 3 p.m. and the concert's going to be available for 48 hours after that. Let's talk about your sort of the fun, creative, cutting-edge things that you guys are doing as a quartet. There's one more video that I want to share with everybody, and this is something called Urban Perfume with Sven Helbig. So tell us about this particular video.
What you see, it's actually a result of a long process of a production, which started with pieces from the composer Sven Helbig. Sven Helbig is a producer and a composer who we know for a very long time from the one of the first recordings which we did for Deutsche Grammophon, which was called Pop Songs. One of our favorite projects if you go across the borders. And the recording where this piece comes from is called Pocket Symphonies. The idea behind the Pocket Symphonies are small pieces in quasi iPod format, you know.
Sure.
And he reduced the time of each piece, and the original piece was written for symphony orchestra and piano quartet. So we went into the studio with a Leipzig radio orchestra. Conductor was Christian Järvi, and we produced a whole CD of 12 pocket symphonies. And one of this is Urban Perfume. And after this recording, we had a couple of concerts with the orchestra, and also the next development of these pieces were a version with piano quartet and synthesizer, where Sven Helbig himself, who you can see on the video now, took part. And the festival where we performed this is called Reeperbahn Festival. It's a very famous music festival in Germany where classical musicians usually don't play. So for us, it was a big pleasure to appear there.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. Let's check this one out. And again, like the other videos, you're playing different types of music, but you can see just the fun and the chemistry between the ensemble. I love, and we do this at the Metropolitan Youth Symphony. We're always trying to find ways to combine what we call classical music with other disciplines and other styles. From electronic music to hip hop and folk music. So I'm very excited to see that you guys are doing these explorations yourselves. What projects are you guys looking forward to going back to after this whole pandemic thing is behind us?
It's funny you should ask, because just yesterday we had a Zoom meeting of our own, and because of course we just released our anniversary CD, and then Konstantin, the cellist, asked immediately, okay, so what are we going to do next? So we're in the very first planning phase and still in the brainstorming phase of things.
Sure.
And we have a couple of things to look forward to, be it more arrangements. Maybe I would love, for example, more of the Faure songs, because I just fell in love with them completely, and we only did. But there are many other possibilities which we have to explore, and that's another thing which is brilliant to have a quartet, because we have 4 brains, and if I'd be a soloist, then I would have to do all thinking by myself. I mean, that's would be a lot more boring, I think.
Or you'll have to deal with conductors, and who wants to have to deal with conductors?
The sad thing is that we lost really, I think every artist in this year, we all lost maybe 1 year of performing.
Yes.
Of earning money, actually.
Yes.
Of promoting recordings. So for us it was after 25 years, which should be a very happy moment. We had this awful year where they took everything from us, and so we could not really promote the new recording, and I think that will take some time. So everything what comes now is a little bit postponed.
Yes.
And until now, we don't know what the future will bring. We hope, and we are very lucky we have each other, actually, because we trust on our team. And I think for a couple of time, we will push the Faure, of course, because it's a very important part of our whole identity of the quartet.
Yes. So here on the MYS Virtual Hangout, there's a game that we play with our guests, and the game is 2 Truths and a Lie. And you guys sent us 3 statements about the other person, and one of them is a lie, and I don't know which one is the lie. So we're gonna play that game now, and my job is to try and guess. And let's start with 3 statements about Erika that Dirk sent us. Okay, so I am going to reveal those statements on the screen, and I'm going to read them out loud, and I'm going to look at Erika really closely and see if she reacts to any of them and see if I can guess which one is the lie. So here we go. Statement A is, Erika played a concert in Switzerland and suddenly she saw Keanu Reeves in the audience. Statement B, when Erika was 11, she threw her violin out the window. Erika, you're doing such a great job with your neutral face, I have to say.
I'm an actress, I know.
And statement C, Erika was in front of George Michael's house when he died. Okay, so here's what I normally do. I normally try to find one of the truths first. So that's what I'm gonna do with you. And Switzerland and Keanu Reeves. And throwing out the window when you were 11. I just met you, Erika, but just from the way you described Mussorgsky earlier with such passion, I can imagine you as a little girl with that passion throwing your violin out the window. So, but wait, in the other one, George Michael's house when he died. And I think that was maybe 2015 or 2016, but I don't have a lot of information. So I'm gonna go ahead, Erika.
May I ask you something, Raoul?
Oh yes.
Which comes into my mind. When we made these statements, Erika and me, we found out that we are both. We love a show which is broadcasted in BBC, which is called "Would I Lie to You?" Have you ever heard about this?
I have not. No.
And we were very happy when you came up with this with the request to make these statements, because this show is based on lying.
Okay.
And it's based on lying and telling the truth. And there is one player who reads the text, and the other players are trying to ask him questions to convince them that it's not a lie, but it's a truth. And in the end, they have to guess. It's just something which is can be so funny. I mean, we are not so quick than these actors in Great Britain, but it's fun to find out more about these statements, maybe. But it's up to you. Whatever you decide, you decide what to do.
Well,
if you wanted to get to the truth of it.
so look, I'm gonna guess that statement B that you threw your violin out the window when you were 11. I'm gonna guess that that's true. So is it true?
Well, I did have let's say temper when I was 11, especially since my mother was my violin teacher.
So it is true.
Sadly, not true.
Oh, it's not.
Not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because of my mother being the violin teacher and my mother. So I wanted to throw out the violin many, many times. Not.
But you didn't. You never did it. Okay. Well, you got me. You win this round of 2 truths and a lie quite easily. Very good. Okay. So if that is a lie, that means that the other 2 statements are true. So you actually did see Keanu Reeves in the audience.
That was quite a shock. I got quite nervous for some reason because it's a very, very remote festival in the middle of the forest in the Swiss Alps. And it's a beautiful little village. Lots of people go there for skiing. And the promoter of the concert, apparently, was the doctor of Keanu Reeves' sister. And he was actually there for a vacation.
What?
So the good doctor just invited Keanu Reeves and his sister to come to the concert.
You had no idea. You didn't know.
Well, the funny thing was that the assistant of the promoter who sets up the venue and everything, he told us before in very mixture of French and German, which we hardly understood, that Keanu Reeves was coming. But he was such a clown that none of us actually thought that was true. That was hilarious. And then all of a sudden we were in a changing room, which had a glass door, which is not much of a changing room then. But suddenly I saw somebody whoosh by with a black coat and a very big beard, and I thought, oh my God. And it was him.
Wow. And this was a quartet performance, you guys?
Performance, yes.
Did
You
he
know what? Yeah.
Yeah, did he come say hi at the end or something?
No, you know what he said to the promoter? He said, "Hey, they are babies," because he expected a chamber concert is played by only old people.
Oh.
I mean, he's a great musician, as we know, but he came to this chamber concert and then he saw us. I think we were maybe middle of 20 or end of 20, and he said, "Oh, they are babies." He couldn't believe. So,
Wow, very cool. Very cool. And then you were in front of George Michael's house when he died. So what was it, 15, 16? Am I?
Yeah, I can't quite remember the year. The thing is that I live half in Berlin and half in England, and my parents-in-law, the parents of my boyfriend, they live in the same village as George Michael.
Mm.
And we had Christmas there, and we went out for a walk, and we were standing on a bridge, and his house and his gardens, they come down to the river. And so all of a sudden we saw a whole load of ambulances coming and flashlights and everything. And we were just thinking, well, it's another party or something.
Wow.
That was it. And then it was all over the news, and it was quite surreal, I have to say.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. Okay. Well, I mean, not cool that he died, but it's crazy that you experienced that. Is what I mean. And well, Erika, you get 1 point. You've won this round of 2 truths and a lie. Congratulations. You can now add this to your official bio, your biography.
Thank you. So what?
Yeah. Okay. Now it's Dirk's turn. So we have three statements, which I'm going to read now. And here we go. Statement A. Dirk once convinced the quartet to make a 1.5-hour diversion before a concert in Italy to pass a certain ice cream shop he had recommended to the quartet. Statement B. Before every first rehearsal, Dirk mails the quartet the tempo indications of the pieces as he imagines them. And statement C. Jeremy Irons, the British actor, will shoot his new film next to Dirk's teaching room. Okay, so just like with Erika, I have no idea. So
At first I can maybe say what is true, that I dropped my violin when I was a child down a stoned stair.
did you was this an accident or were you really angry?
Yes. I just remembered today when I read Erika's lie.
Oh no!
Yes.
Was it destroyed?
Yes, it was a nightmare. You can't imagine. It's the worst thing which can happen to someone.
I cannot.
It was not my violin. I borrowed it from a teacher in school. So it was.
Oh no, that's like a nightmare. That's stuff straight out of a nightmare.
That was a nightmare indeed. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Now back to the ice cream.
Yes.
So, well, I'm gonna have to say that statement A is true. That's my first guess. That the ice cream story, is it true?
I think you have a very good instinct because you know me now for half an hour, but you already know that I'm totally obsessed with ice cream, though it's true.
Very good. Okay. Woo! All right. So we still have a game here. So 1.5. So were you all did you rent a car? It was just the four of you?
No, the thing was, I was on holiday at the Lago Maggiore in a very beautiful and nice and stunning lake in northern Italy. And during this holidays, it was in August, 10 years ago, I don't know. And there was an ice cream shop with the best chocolate ice cream I've ever had in my whole life, with cream and so fluffy. It was, I can't imagine. So 2 months later, we had a concert in, what was it, the town in north of this lake. Anyway, we played in at this lake. We had a concert, and we were flying to Milano. So we had to take a rental car, and were supposed to go straight to the concert because we had to be in time for the general rehearsal. And I was so determined to show the quartet this ice cream place, and they trusted me, and they were very happy in the end. I think it was a good decision. We lost a lot of time. We came in time to the rehearsal, and so the concert probably was great. I don't know.
Because of the ice cream. So Erika, you're giving thumbs up, so it was good.
Oh, it was definitely worth it, and I think it was much better than rehearsing anyway. So.
Cool. Okay, so now this is the moment of truth. I have to guess between
1 point for you.
Well, not yet.
Okay.
Right? I mean, we'll see. By the end of this, it could be Faure Quartet 2, Raoul 0, or we could be tied.
Yes.
So we have here the celebrity theme going. We had Keanu Reeves before. Now we have Jeremy Irons. And you did say, I know that you arrange and adapt, like for example Mussorgsky, so maybe you're really into like the details of tempo and things like that, but you know what, I'm just gonna go with my gut, with my instinct, and I'm gonna say that the Jeremy Irons statement is actually true. Film next to your teaching room.
So let me start to explain, because actually you could find out yourself. And you know that Jeremy Irons is now making a new film, which is called Munich 38. It's about the Dritte Reich, and about he's playing the British minister Chamberlain.
Oh.
And in 1938 there was a Münchner Abkommen, that was an agreement about how they share the regions in the east. And this meeting was in a room of the headquarters of the Nazis, and this headquarters is a building in Munich where the music conservatory is in today. So they transformed it completely in the 60s or whenever they transformed it into a music school, and this is the place where I'm teaching. And actually my teaching room is next door to this meeting room from this place. And I found out this morning, have to say, that I knew that there will be a film team coming next week to Munich, but today I saw the contract for this production, and I saw actor Jeremy Irons. So I found out only today, that he's coming to Munich. Maybe he's already here, I don't know, but I hope to see him next week. It's quite exciting.
Wow.
I'm a big fan of him, actually. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah. And he was, he's done many wonderful things. And one thing that, I don't know how familiar people are, but he was the voice of Scar from Disney's The Lion King, the animated. He was Scar. So it's a true statement.
It's a true statement, yes.
So that's 1 point for me.
1 point for me, yes.
Very good. So now we're tied, and we're gonna do.
But just to explain, I would never send tempo indications to my colleagues, and between us, no one is listening to us. That is something which one of our teachers did to his colleagues, and when I heard this, I was quite impressed by the idea, but it would never come into my mind to make this, because you can't fix tempi, That is one of our main issues in the quartet, that you can't fix tempo and you can't fix a moment. So whenever you make music, of course, it's different, and you always have to take the moment, and the tempo is decided only in the moment of the concert. And no matter that you have some concepts, but that would be totally against our policy in the quartet.
Sure. Well, I think it's a good clarification, and that's sort of the reason why I went with Jeremy Irons, because the way you were describing earlier your working relationship with the quartet, I didn't think that would be true.
Okay.
So
thank
look,
you.
that means we're tied, and I'll tell you what, we will do a tiebreaker next time you guys are in Portland in person.
Yes, of course.
So that's what we should do. Okay, yes. Very good. Okay, so this is a very rare draw, a tie in the game of two truths and a lie. And we have a couple more things before we let you guys go. And one of them is a segment that we call Sound Advice. And my question for each of you is this. If you could travel back in time and give your past self some advice, maybe when you were in high school, in your teenage years or so, what advice would you have for yourself? And this can be music, it can be about life, it can be about anything. So who wants to start?
Yeah.
When I would meet myself when I was maybe 14 or 15, and I could give an advice, I would strongly recommend that I would really focus on dancing class, because I was so shy in this age, and for me the dancing, the standard dancing, was one of the very tense experience of a young adult, growing up person. So I didn't enjoy that, but I regret very much that I wasn't into dancing much more because today I really miss it.
Like social dancing, like going out to dance type of.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I like it. Very good. And Erika.
Well, I did go to dance class and I didn't enjoy it either, but for different reasons, because none of the boys had rhythm. That was horrible. Right. Well, but my advice is maybe a little bit different, because I was, even if I did have a temper as a child, I was maybe just as much as Dirk or even more, I was very shy. And the advice I would give is just go for it. Because I can't believe the many things I was standing in my own way just because I was afraid. And it wasn't necessary. I had the possibilities and I had the support. I had a fantastic surrounding, and I don't know why I was. So if I go back now with all the things I know now, I would just tell myself, get over it and just move on.
Yeah, that's I appreciate that, and that's been kind of a common theme for this segment, Sound Advice. This is our 59th episode, so we've had many of these, and we keep going back to this, for young people to sort of trust their instinct and to just go for it, and especially when it comes to music and to perform, and I think anything that we do, from social dancing to working on believing in yourself, will also help kids become better artists and better musicians, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because just before this, I was watching a 4-hour special of the Royal Ballet Dance Company, because they had an open day. Of course, everything was virtual.
Yeah.
And I thought, I just have a quick peek and I will do something else. And I was completely stuck by this. And the poise they had, and the body, and also it was very interesting how many things the teacher said to them, which I can just use for my own instrument, with body control and energy and the tension, the good tension you need when you play your instrument is just the same, maybe not as hard, but it's the same energy as a ballet dancer needs. Yeah. And it's just a very cool coincidence.
Yeah, very nice. And Dirk, I will say that when I was in high school, I grew up in Costa Rica, and we, the boys, we all had to absolutely learn how to dance salsa.
Well, wouldn't I have liked to have a dance partner like you?
So, it was sort of a requirement if you wanted to go to parties, and we would actually practice with each other. Like the boys would get together and kind of teach each other like the spins and the moves, and, it's just what you did.
When we, let me explain something. When we had our first South America tour, we went out with some nice people in Colombia.
Nice.
And,
great country.
And, we were a German piano quartet for German guys, well educated. And maybe we had a different approach of fun. But what they told us, because they also they studied in Germany before, and they said, the main difference going out in Germany and going out in South America is, if you go out in Germany, you go out because you want to talk. If you go out in South America, you want to dance. Yeah. and I will never forget it, because it's so true. And when you go out in Germany and you're already annoyed because it's too loud, but it's part of the game. I mean, if you want to have fun, you dance. And that also connects to my old story.
Yeah. Very fun. Well, and the last thing, and we've already kind of talked about this a little bit, but our last segment is called The Plug, and here's where we ask our guests if there's anything that they want to promote. And you have two things: your new CD and your upcoming virtual concert with Friends of Chamber Music. So if you will just give us a quick elevator pitch for your CD, and I will post the Friends of Chamber Music concert information on the description of this video.
our name is Faure Quartet, and when we started recording more than 20 years ago, we of course we started recording the piano quartets of Faure. And now after more than 20 years recording, now after 25 years having played together, we did the second try. So we totally dedicated again to Gabriel Faure, maybe our favorite composer of the quartet, and we did it. So we made a recording of the two piano quartets of Faure. And as I mentioned, there are these beautiful songs of Faure, because for us it's always very important that we never forget to sing. And Faure was a composer who always said, never forget to sing. So it's our kind of our motto. And so you can find also these arrangements on the CD. And I hope really next time we are in Portland, we will perform it live. And of course, until then, you will get it on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you know better.
Yes, and we'll make sure to put the links to that also in the description of this video. So Dirk, Erika, thank you again for taking time to hang out with Metropolitan Youth Symphony students and their families, and we all look forward to watching this virtual concert from Friends of Chamber Music on November 15 at 3 p.m. Pacific time. And we look forward to seeing you and the other half of the quartet in person here in Portland, hopefully in the not too distant future.
We can't wait. Yeah, that would be absolutely lovely also to meet you in person.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much. Great to meet you.
And thank you for watching. So don't forget, put that on your calendars, this Sunday, 3 p.m., Faure Quartet, Friends of Chamber Music. And also, there's another thing I want to invite you to add to your calendars, and this is the Metropolitan Youth Symphony Fall Virtual Concert. It's coming up on Saturday, November 21st at 7 p.m. Pacific. If you follow MYS on social media, like Facebook or Instagram, or if you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you'll get reminders about this. This is going to be a really fun celebration of the talent and hard work of hundreds of MYS students, and we're very much looking forward to sharing this joyful concert with all of you. I'll put a link down for a description of the concert on our website as well. Hangouts are going to take a little break, but also stay tuned for more amazing guests in the coming weeks and months. Thank you.